Okay, gonna have to make a change to the shelves back there because this thing in front of me, that you can't quite see all of it yet, but this thing in front of me, it's gonna force a status change in the shelves. So let's talk about that, and we'll also talk about a couple of the other slight upgrades that have been made. Okay, so check this out. As you can tell, one thing went up on the wall. That is my Amiibo walking silhouette Gundam thing. That's that really cool thing that I had for a while that was laid up on the chair that used to sit behind me. And I figured it's big, but it's not quite big enough for me to actually use as a blanket, but it's really good artwork. It represents Gundam. It's a huge, cool thing in general. It looked like wall art, so I figured, why not? So I hung it up. There. That's one of the major changes that have been made, is Amuro went up, and he's like the biggest art on the wall, and I'm more than okay with that. That's really cool. Something you can't see is that right up here, I put an old Pokemon timeline that released back when, if I remember right, it was X and Y. When X and Y came out, they gave me this wall scroll thing. And it's not a wall scroll, it's like this, I don't even know how to explain it. It's a long banner type thing, and I never knew exactly where to put it. So recently, I put it above the window, and it looks really good up there, and I'm not going to dig out my other camera to show it to you right now or whatever. At some point, I'm sure we will do the room update, and we'll go around how much everything has changed, because that's one of the big things that keeps us talking about fandom and whatnot. So let's talk about one of the big changes that we have to make, huge change that we have to make to the room, because now the Star Wars shelf, that stuff is going up there, and that stuff is going down there. Couple of reasons. One, she's too big. The Ayane is just a little bit too big. Her head actually scrapes a little bit on the top of the shelf for what I made the gaming shelf, and I thought about just dropping the gaming shelf down a peg, but then I got to looking around, and as I worked on another part of the house today, rearranging things, I ended up coming across this giant Nintendo display. And if it's going to go in the gaming section, it's just less work instead of trying to move the entirety of the shelves and kind of mess up the way that I have it set, because I really like the way that the shelves work right now. I like that each shelf has this specific height and everything. I'm really liking the way, but this thing, I got this thing. Oh. Pretty cool, right? I actually think this thing is pretty cool. This is my Amiibo display. And of course, because I truly feel like Mario, I mean, say what you will about his games one way or another. Some people like Sonic, some people won't even touch a Nintendo game, and that's more than fine. But when I was growing up, pretty much the reason video games happened at all is because of Super Mario Brothers. Like, guys, it was a huge event. It was remarkably huge, and he became this icon that pushed games back into the forefront right when they had basically died. And when I was first born, I remember I had like an Intellivision, and my dad had set it up in my room, and it was on black and white TV with knobs, and I would play that. And then all of a sudden we got a Nintendo in the house. And I can remember as a young child watching things like Dragon Quest and Mario and playing Super Mario Brothers and Super Mario Brothers 3. I must have played, that was the game I played more than anything, I'm going to be honest with you. And from there, I did move on to other games. I got absolutely infatuated with Mega Man. I mean, I took the name ReploidBill years ago, and maybe I'll do a video on why I took that name and why it's never changed for me in general, because Mega Man, even though it's not exactly something that I go far out of my way for now, you could tell I'm not like collecting a ridiculous amount of Mega Man or like playing Mega Man playthroughs and whatnot, but he holds a special place because he was one of the first times that I ever kind of delve. Not the first time I dived into Fandom. We'll talk about it at some point. I'll actually have to remember that I've never really brought it up as to why I took that name, and we'll talk about why I took the name and why it's stuck for all these years. But this display has to go up. And since we're going to put this display and we're going to move all the video game characters down and whatnot, we're going to move the Star Wars characters up. The rest of this box we're going to talk about just to get it out of the way. I was not a huge collector of Amiibos, but I did very much buy Amiibos, okay? Little Mac is one of the guys that I picked up. I absolutely love Little Mac. He's easily, I mean, yeah, okay. Aside from the obvious, if you've been on this channel long enough to know one of the reasons I like Little Mac, he was an excellent game that to this day has never soured with me. And I have every Punch-Out game. Not that that's like a huge deal, because there's Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, there's Punch-Out. Yes, there are two different versions. I own both of them. And then there's, of course, Super Punch-Out, and then there's Punch-Out for the Wii, and I have all of them. So I have every single one of them that I am aware of exist. I don't have the arcade game. That would be pretty cool. I got Robin. I would have preferred Fem Robin, but this is cool. The reason I prefer Fem Robin is because in the game that I played, I picked Fem Robin, so Fem Robin could end up with Crom, and it just made sense to me. It just worked well for the way the story was going. I really enjoyed it, so cool that I have it, but you get the idea. I have Young Link. I believe... I don't know for sure. Is that Wind Waker Link? I'm being honest. I don't remember. It might be. When I look at the way that he looks and everything like that, I think this is Wind Waker Link. Oh, there's more and more. I got a Princess Peach. I'm gonna keep her. She doesn't really... she's not like my favorite or anything like that. If I remember right, when I was buying these, I bought a couple of them on the grounds of they were new, and I was buying the ones that work for Mario Party. And if I remember right, that's the reason we ended up getting her, is it was one that my daughter kind of pointed out that she wanted, and we got it. I have Zelda, and she's a really good one. If I'm not mistaken, this design is taken from the Twilight Princess. I believe that's the design that this Zelda was. I'm not going to guarantee that, because she could actually be from Ocarina of Time, but I got this feeling that that's not the one that she was. And maybe I'm wrong. Samus, and she's a solid figure. That's another thing about these, is that I got a lot of these just on the whole, oh, I wonder what they do. And then now, like here in the later portions, when I don't use them at all, Amiibos serve really no purpose to me whatsoever, they'll be cool as little statues on the gaming shelf. So they do still serve a purpose after all this time. Sheik. So I got a Sheik that's pretty solid. I like Sheik a lot. I'm still wishing that you could have used Sheik like for an actual portion of the game and really connected with her before she revealed herself, as if we didn't know, but you get the idea. Captain Falcon. F-Zero, I did love that game quite a bit. But Rock and Roll Racing was definitely my racing game on the Super Nintendo, so... this one can go. I don't play the Squid game. I don't... It serves... It's just... This does nothing for me. Might give it to my daughter. She might like it, and she's putting together a bit of a shelf herself now because she's got me as a dad and she sees this, and now she's slowly putting things in her room like that where she's got like a couple Pikachus and things like that, and she's starting to, I got her a couple of those cube shelves and she's filling those up like, this is what I collect, and she puts it up there. She doesn't play with it or nothing. That's very much a collector's thing already with her. Of course we have a Mega Man. I had to get a Mega Man. Oh, I'm running out of space here with this guy kind of sitting in my way. I have Bowser. I love Bowser. I've always been a fan of the Bowser design. In fact, I have a plushie that's going to be coming into the room, but we're not discussing the plushies yet. I have another Princess Peach. Her hat broke off because every now and then I would go to the store, and like I said, for a while I was buying these with Gwen, and if I was buying one for myself and she saw one, she'd be like, oh, can I get that? And I'd buy it for her, and, well, then she'd play with them as toys, and of course they either survived or they didn't, and most of the time, okay. Adult Link, this I also believe is from Twilight. I think this is Twilight Princess. I think that's what the Zelda was as well. Metroid, Samus, this is solid. I like this. I like this a lot, actually. And I'll set her up with the Zero suit, so that'll be really cool. I ended up with 2 of these. They don't do anything different. And I was very irritated about that. But I was conned into buying this. See, I bought this for Mario Party. Sorry, I bought this for Mario Party. See the stand on him? And then I bought this for Smash Brothers. Only to figure out that this still did the same thing as this. So I just have 2 Bowsers, and aside from a color difference, they're practically the same. There's a slight different stance. They have slight different colors. I guess it's fine, but like, I feel like they conned me there. The only Breath of Fire item that I have. Sorry. Breath of Fire. Fire Emblem. The only Fire Emblem I was able to pick up. I didn't find any of the others. I found him, and that's it. Here's Yoshi. Like I said, I was buying all the Mario Party that I came across at the time. And the last thing in there is I have a little Ness. At the risk of alienating myself against all the people that love the Mother series or Earthbound in general, I kind of couldn't care less. So he's probably going to go. The other ones I'm going to keep. So there's only 2 of them that I'm really getting rid of, and I'm missing a couple that I still haven't dug out. I'm still going through boxes and whatnot from moving. I know I have a Mewtwo. I know I have a Pikachu. I know I have a Charizard. Little things like that are still kind of at large. Unless I added them to the Pokemon shelf without thinking, and I haven't really turned around to look. But that's it. We are now adding all of this to the shelf and rearranging it as well. But that'll finally open up the spot for us to start putting the Star Wars down, and there's a lot of that coming in soon too as well. So, let me get out of here.
I have spoken. Take what you will from it.